Hi there, I'm Kevin Benedict, independent mobile and M2M analyst. I want to thank you for joining me today for this video comments. I had the privilege of listening to a presentation recently by Andrew Borg from the Aberdeen Group. He summarized from their perspective and from their research the state of enterprise mobility. Let me just summarize some of the highlights here for you. What are the enterprise mobility application drivers? He identified at least 3 categories: increasing workforce productivity, getting more work done in a given period of time, improving operational efficiency. Now that can come in a huge variety of different forms. For example, perhaps making more sales is operational efficiency in a given amount of time. Maybe it's being able to route the closest service technician to the next job. That's a lot more efficient than routing somebody from 50 miles away. All kinds. It might be reducing fuel. It might be increasing the sales of warranties. It might be selling more parts, getting those from a discounted vendor in the area instead of paying full price somewhere else. All kinds of things that can be done there. Accelerating decision making. This is incredibly important. Management traditionally had to wait for a lot of paper to flow back, get aggregated, get entered into a system before it could be analyzed. Decisions would often take a week to be made based upon waiting for all the information to be collected, aggregated, and analyzed. Today in real time, you can get visibility into what's happening right at this very moment across your operational spectrum. There's a lot of interesting things that can come out of there. What are some of the challenges Aberdeen Group identified? Security. I mean, one of the biggest trends that we all see out there today is that companies are now accepting personal mobile devices into the company and allowing those personal devices to be integrated with your ERP and important corporate data. How are you going to secure that if you don't even own the device? That's something that needs to be determined. There's a lot of different strategies around there, but there's a lot of things that also have to be discussed. Lack of platform stabilization is a big challenge. What is a platform and what is unstable about that? They change so quickly. Not only the device platform for smartphones and mobile devices, but also the operating systems are changing all the time. They're changing so rapidly that you don't always even know when they're going to be changed. You might synchronize your smartphone and immediately you're getting requested to update to the latest version of the operating system. What if you said yes and that disables your corporate applications? That really happens, and that's a big challenge that people need to ponder. Companies need to have governance around that and understand the ramifications. Understand what IT resources and skills will be needed. That's another big challenge. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of different mobile operating systems. If you're going to customize your own environment, then you need to know that. You need to support it. You need to update that particular operating system so that it functions and keeps your applications functions as these new updates come out. It's a big challenge. Just to run an IT help desk, do you know what skills you need? Let me ask you this. If you have a sales kickoff meeting in Milan, Italy, and you fly 200 of your best sales guys to that sales kickoff, what kind of roaming charges are going to be incurred when they're all trying to get data back home? They're talking to families, they're talking to customers, they're downloading the latest information. Who pays for that? You need to just think through those things. Successful enterprise mobile application outcome. What does a successful solution look like? Now, in enterprise mobility, mobile solutions can come in all shapes and sizes. And it's not one size fits all. It absolutely isn't. You know, one of my criticisms over time with Sybase is that if you ask them how to mobilize a particular process, they will tell you there's thousands of different options and different ways of doing it. Now, to their credit, they're accurate. There really is. But that doesn't necessarily help you and I that need to make some actionable decisions here. What we need to know is what is the best application for what we're trying to accomplish. And there's a lot of different models out there, but Aberdeen identifies lightweight, user-focused applications may in fact handle a large percentage of the needs of many enterprises. You may not need to create thick, rich, heavy clients with databases and online, offline synchronization capabilities and all kinds of customization and complexity to address 80% of your needs. Aberdeen says there's huge sections of requirements that can be made with very lightweight, user-focused applications. You need to have an application environment that can be easily managed and maintained by your existing IT infrastructure. You need to be able to have simple and easy and secure deployment options. You know, we all know when we look at implementing enterprise mobility, there's all kinds of back-end systems out there. Sun, SAS, Lawson, Oracle, SAP, Sage, CA, Amdoc, SunGard, SharePoint with Microsoft, IBM, JD Edwards. All of these, or many of them, can be found within the same enterprise. When you are looking to support the overall mobile needs of a large enterprise, you need the capability of connecting with a large variety of back-end systems. If you have SAP and you only connect to SAP, of course that would be too limiting. It would not permit you to support all the others. You need to make sure that you have a platform that's purposeful in its ability to support all the back-end systems that you in fact need to connect to. And recently, in a discussion with some SAP mobility experts, they suggested that in the SAP ERP environment alone, there's literally room for thousands of different mobile interfaces and mobile applications or mobile tasks with their system alone. Add to that all the other variety of database applications and business solutions, and you can see how important it is to be able to support a large number of applications. You have all kinds of mobile devices, the iPhones, the iPads, tablets of all kinds now actually, Android, BlackBerry, Microsoft, all these environments. So you have all the back-end systems you need to support. You need to support all of the popular smartphones and mobile devices that are going to be entering your enterprise. You need that all to work in a simplified, standardized environment. And the more you can do that, the better. We can just give you some examples. You need to be able to collect data. You need to be able to upload data and update data to your back-end enterprises. You need to be able to query data. You need to be able to display that information in the right kind of GUI interfaces and graphics that make sense. You need to be able to sort data. Just ask for the data that's important to you, not everybody else's data. All of these different things are very important. With business intelligence, you want a pie chart, a barcode chart. Do you want to look at just the Western region? Do you want to look at the Eastern region? Do you want to look at it all? Do you want to aggregate it? What is your position as a manager? Do you want more visibility as a manager than each of your account representatives? What are the options that you want available on your applications? These are important to consider. You know, some of the challenges, let's go into some more details on that. Do you want to buy a prepackaged application from your vendor? Often, the prepackage is going to be a very good idea. However, you need to look at what's the cost, how long is that going to take to implement, what mobile platform is underneath that, what is going to be the total cost of ownership over the long term for that particular application? Is it going to require a great deal of customization? Is it a low price solution that requires $5 million of customization? We've all seen situations like that. It's worth asking. Does the particular application, is it so focused on just one business process that you need to find a different vendor and a different prepackaged solution for everything else you need to do? Or will that prepackaged solution handle the majority of your requirements? These are all important things to talk about. Sometimes what you need in the office is not available prepackaged. You need to ponder that. Do you really want, if it's such a very specialized application for one purpose, do you really want to go find different vendors for every process? That's an important question. What is the cost of the purchase? The deployment and maintenance? How usable is it, or are you compromising a lot on usability and customization? These are all important questions that you need to be asking yourself. Do you want to build it yourself? Do you want to buy a middleware layer and then build it yourself? Now, especially a number of years ago, a lot of companies, and I think really because IT wanted to get their hands involved in mobile applications because they were new technology and fun. However, based on my personal experience, few organizations are willing to fund first-time mobility efforts that may take triple, quadruple the time estimates, that may cost 3 or 4 times more than you thought it would, because it's your first time. And if you don't have a lot of experience in it, that can be a very costly and risky endeavor. Is your organization willing to wait and be patient and fund that kind of effort? So it's something that needs to be considered because there's so many different variables you don't know if this is your first time. If you have a great deal of experience internally and you can't find a prepackaged application that meets your requirements, jump into it. But there's a lot of risk there because if it's an application you built, who's going to support it? You are. Who's going to fund all updates and maintenance? You are. Not some vendor that can spread it out over their customer base. It becomes a very expensive proposition. But sometimes it's worth it, especially if you have 10,000 field service guys doing something that's specific to your business and there isn't prepackaged applications out there. Then that's something you want to consider. Or do you simply want to create mobile interfaces to your existing processes? Often that can be the simplest. You can be reusing and leveraging what you've already done in the ERP. You can take advantage of existing security mechanisms that you already have built around logins and secure access to your current ERP environments. You don't have to build a lot of business logic because you're really utilizing the business logic of your ERP and backend system already. You're not building new applications, you're simply creating interfaces that connect on mobile devices to what you already have. You can focus on the individual users and exactly what each of them need because you're not having to build complete applications for each of the mobile users. You're simply giving them views into what they already have.